Budding and multi-queen colonies. When you move away from the traditional single-mother model of a colony, the rules of survival change. For some of the most successful species, the risk of a lone queen starting from scratch is an obsolete gamble. Instead, they have evolved a system of massive, interconnected networks fueled by polygyny, budding, and the unique strategy of secondary reproductives. In a standard colony, the queen is a single point of failure. If she dies, the colony's clock starts ticking toward extinction. Polygyny, literally many females, flips the script. These colonies host tens, hundreds, or even thousands of egg-laying queens, all living within the same nest. There are two primary ways this structure forms. Cooperative founding. Several queens who have just finished their mating flight find each other and decide to cooperate. They dig a nest together and share the burden of raising the first generation of workers, giving the colony a massive head start in numbers. Secondary recruitment. This is the real game changer. An established colony actively recruits new queens, often their own daughters who have mated near the nest, and brings them back into the fold. With a constant intake of new queens, the colony becomes functionally immortal. It doesn't matter if a predator or an accident kills a dozen queens, the egg production line never stops. The princess queens, Cephalotes texanus. A fascinating local example of this is the Texas turtle ant, Cephalotes texanus. They utilize secondary reproductives, or princess queens. While they do produce standard winged queens for long-distance travel, they are also known for secondary polygyny. In these colonies, you can find multiple fertile queens working together. These princesses serve as a backup generator for the colony. If the primary queen dies, or if the colony becomes large enough to split, these secondary queens are already on site and ready to take over egg production. This removes the need for the dangerous nuptial flight for the continuation of that specific lineage, keeping the royal power localized and secure within their specialized beetle-borne nest sites. Expansion by budding. While most ants rely on the high-risk, one-shot nuptial flight to spread their genetics, polygyne species and those with secondary reproductives often prefer budding. This is essentially a ground-based relocation that feels more like a military expansion than a migration. Instead of a lone, vulnerable queen flying miles away to start from scratch, a group of workers gathers up a portion of the brood, the larvae and pupae, and a few of the existing queens, or princesses. Together, they simply walk a short distance away and establish a satellite nest. Because the new nest starts with an adult workforce and experienced reproductives, its success rate is nearly 100%. They aren't starting an empire from nothing. They are opening a new branch office with the full support of the corporate headquarters. The rise of the supercolony. The combination of multiple queens, secondary reproductives, and constant budding leads to a phenomenon known as a supercolony. In a standard ant world, different nests of the same species are usually bitter enemies. But in budding species like Argentine ants or certain populations of fire ants, the boundaries vanish. Because these nests are all buds of the same original group, they share the same chemical signature. They don't fight. They cooperate. Workers move freely between nests, sharing food and resources across miles of territory. This allows them to overwhelm native species through sheer numbers, creating a massive singular front that is almost impossible to stop. Local dominance versus long-distance travel. Every evolutionary choice has a cost. The strategy of budding and polygyny is a trade-off between safety and distance. Nuptial flights are dangerous, but they allow a species to leapfrog over obstacles and colonize entirely new territories miles away. Budding and secondary reproduction are incredibly safe, but they are slow. The species can only expand as fast as a worker can walk. However, because they never truly leave home, they can saturate an environment so completely that no other ant species can find a place to survive. Directed aerial descent. While the Texas turtle ant uses princess queens to secure the colony's future on the ground, they have also mastered one of the most incredible aerial survival tricks in the insect world. Because these ants live exclusively in the canopy, nesting in old beetle boreholes high above the ground, a single fall could be a death sentence. If a Cephalotes worker or queen is knocked off a branch, she doesn't just fall. She glides. As soon as they hit the air, they spread their legs and use their flattened, flange-like heads and bodies as airfoils. They are capable of performing a 180-degree turn in mid-air to face the tree trunk they just fell from. By adjusting the angle of their bodies, they fly back toward the trunk, sticking a landing on the vertical surface rather than falling into the leaf litter below where predators and foreign colonies wait. This gliding adaptation is unrelated to reproduction, however definitely neat enough to mention. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. Let me know what you think. I do not like the AI voiceover thing, but I do not have a very good place to record.